Hello, I am Mr. Walid and I will explain to you how to solve an equation of any degree. In the beginning, the equation means a puzzle, mathematical puzzle. We intend to find the value or the values of the unknown number, which in this case is x. What is the meaning of degree? The degree comes from the biggest power of that unknown. The biggest power of the unknown here is 4. We have power 3, we have power 2, we have power 1, and we also have power 0, which is there is no x at all. So the biggest degree here, or the biggest power, is power 4. So we say this equation of fourth degree. If the biggest degree is power 3, like we don't have x power 4, we say it is of third degree. If the biggest degree is power 2, it is of second degree, and we can call it also quadratic equation. And if the biggest degree is power 1, like x power 1 here, we don't have to write power 1. Not writing it means it is power 1. This is called an equation of first degree, and we call it linear equation. There is no equation of 0 degree. This equation is meaningless because obviously 14 can never equal 0. So the least degree can be a power 1, which is first degree. Alright, make sure first that the equation is arranged from the big power to the smaller ones in descending order. The big power has to be first, then the next one, then the next one, then the next, and so on. How about if they are mixed? You have to arrange them. For example, if this negative 13x power 3 is in the end of this side, is in the place of 14, and 14 in the place, so you have to switch the places, but don't switch the signs. Keep the signs as they are. If negative 13x power 3 in the end here of this side, you bring it to the right place without changing the sign. But if it is on the other side, you bring it and change the sign. If on the right side here written 13x power 3 on the right side after the equal sign, you can bring it inside and change the sign. If it is positive, you make it negative, and if it is negative, you make it become positive. Alright. What is next? Next thing is to take the absolute term and find its factors. That absolute term is the number that has no x at all. There is no x written, only a number, a whole number, which is 14. I found its factors. It's 1 times 14 and can be 2 times 7. There is no more factors for this number. What is the next step? To take the coefficient of x power 4, which is the biggest power. Okay, so take this coefficient 6 and again do its factors. So 6 can be 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. No more factors for this number. Okay. Now we are going to do our first step, which is trying to find the value of x. So we will find all the, it depends on trying, we'll find all the possibilities. I'm gonna write p equal and I'm going to make a fraction line. That fraction line can be positive and can be negative. That this fraction can be positive, can be negative. We write the factors of the absolute term on the top in the numerator place and the factors of the coefficient of x power 4 on the bottom. So let's write them in order. The factors of 14 first, 1, 2, 7, and 14. Then we write in the bottom the factors of x power 4, 1, 2, 3, and 6. So the factors of the absolute term on the top and the factors of the coefficient of x of the biggest power on the bottom. Okay, now it's time to try these numbers. One of these numbers is a solution of one or more of these numbers are solutions for this equation. So we have a lot of possibilities here. Ignore the denominator for now and look at the whole numbers on the top. Positive 1 is possible to be a solution. Also negative 1 is possible to be a solution. We will try it out. Same thing for positive 2 and negative 2, positive 7 and negative 7, positive 14 and negative 14. We will try all these numbers and we will find some solutions while we are trying. How about if we run out of trying these whole numbers and we found no solution? After you try all of them and you still didn't solve the equation completely, you are allowed to use the fractions. How? You can try 1 over 2 half as a solution. I didn't say 1 over 1 because 1 over 1 is 1 and we already tried that before, so no need to repeat the fractions that are equal whole numbers. So positive half is a possible solution. Negative half is a possible solution. Positive 2 over 3, 2/3 is a possible solution. I didn't say 2 over 2. 2 over 2 is 1. So, and 2 over 1 is 2. So these are whole numbers we already have tried. So 2/3 and negative 2/3, 7 over 3, negative 7 over 3 is a possible solution. 14 over 3, negative 14 over 3, 14 over 6 is equal to, simplified to be 7 over 3. 7 over 3 is a possible solution. Negative 7 over 3 is another possible solution. Or 14 over 6 if you don't want to simplify, no problem. But better to simplify the fraction. Anyway, let's start trying positive 2 as a solution. So I'm gonna write the, sorry, let's start from the beginning. Positive 1. Positive 1 or 1 as a solution. It might be a solution, it might not be a solution. If it is a solution, we are going to take it. And if it is not, we will keep trying. So we will write 1. We're trying the number 1 or positive 1 as a solution. What will we write then? The coefficients of the unknown number in order. The coefficient of x power 4 here is 6. So let's write that beside on this line 6. The coefficient of x power 3 is negative 13. be careful with the sign. You have to take the coefficient with the sign. So negative 13 is the next coefficient. I'm gonna write it and leave distance between them. Negative 38 is the next coefficient. Then 31 is the next one, and 14 is the last. So in the end here has to be the absolute term or the number that's by itself. Okay, let's leave one line under them empty, some space, because we are going to use this space in a minute. And please focus on the next steps. First, drop down the first coefficient to be under this line. 6 is down here. Then I'm gonna show you what to do next after dropping down the first coefficient. The number you are trying multiplied by the number you have dropped down. So the number we are trying here is positive 1. And I want to remind you, this positive 1 came from the numbers we are trying here. We tried first positive 1. If it doesn't work, we will try negative 1. So I'm going to multiply that number I'm trying by the number that I have dropped down. What is the result of 1 times 6? Is 6. Where do we write this result? Down here, in the place of it under the negative 13. So 1 times 6 is 6. So I'm gonna write 6 here. The result of multiplication, I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna write an arrow, so just to show you where to put the result of multiplication. Here, exactly. What's next? Next thing, I add the number on the top with the number that I have just put on the bottom here. We add them together. So by adding these two numbers, negative 13 plus 6 is negative 7. So we write the answer on the bottom here. After we write the answer, we will repeat the procedure, the same thing. The number that we wrote down, we will times it by the number we are trying. I don't want to do more arrows, so you just have to listen and be careful when you do. This number that we have written down, we times it again by the number that we are trying, and the result will be written down here in the next empty space here. So 1 times negative 7 is negative 7. So we are going to write that here, the answer of multiplication. Then we add again, up plus down, negative 38 plus negative 7, that's negative 45. So we write negative 45. And again, this number on the bottom, we times it by the number we are trying here. Time them together. 1 times anything equal the same thing. 1 times negative 45 equal negative 45. So we add, we get negative 31 plus negative 45 is negative 14. We are going to write that down here. After you get the answer on the bottom here, you time that answer by the number you're trying again. 1 times negative 14 is negative 14. We write that here, and then we add up plus down. 14 plus negative 14 equals 0. Once you get 0, you know that the number you tried is a solution. If 0 exists in the end of your steps, the last step here has to be 0 so that you can say the number you're trying is a solution. So we can say now, I'm gonna write that in a draft because I don't like really to waste space. So I'm gonna say that the number 1 is a solution. So I'm gonna write on a draft the conclusion of what I did, that x equals 1, this number is a solution. Okay, and if it is a solution, there is a factor x minus 1. I changed it, I brought this one to the other side and I changed the sign. It is positive 1. I brought it inside here and I made it become negative 1. So x minus 1 is a factor. What factor it is? Factor of what? X minus 1 is a factor of this expression. This expression came from the multiplication of some factors. More than really 4 factors gave us this expression. X minus 1 is one of these factors. We are going to try the other factors now, but let's see the reduced equation. What is meant by the reduced equation? Once I found a solution, this equation can become a little bit shorter and simpler. The new reduced equation is this. You take 6, the number that's down here, 6, and then write x to the power of 3, not 4. The next power under 4 is power 3. The first 6 on the top here came from x power 4, but the 6 on the bottom is 6x power 3. So it becomes lower. The x has lower power than power 4. The next power under power 4 is power 3. So 6x power 3 minus 7x power what? Power 2. X power 3, then x power 2. It becomes negative 7 is for x power 2. But this negative 13 came from here, from x power 3. So the bottom here it has a lower power. So negative 7 x power 2, negative 45 x power 1 or x at all, then negative 14. Then you write equals 0. This is called the reduced equation. We made the original equation. We made the original equation become a little. Here I wrote, I am showing you just in case you didn't see this. X equal 1 is a solution. X minus 1, I changed the sign, is a factor. What is the other factor? For now, the other factor is this equation or this expression. For now, we are going to factorize also again this other factor or this reduced equation. We will make again the same steps we did before. We will do them again with this new simpler equation. So let's go on. We are done with this, or in fact you can use them again. I will use them again. I don't want to write. Let's try out another number, -1. We tried +1, let's try -1. So I'm going to try -1. I'm gonna try -1 with these numbers that already found. Let's do it. We will leave space, underline, and see what will happen. Put down the first number, 6. We put it down. Then we multiply the number we are trying by the first number, by the number we dropped down. -1 times 6 equal -6. If you add -7 plus -6, you get -13. And then you multiply this number by that number you're trying. -13 times -1 is +13. You write that here. You add -45 plus 13. So -35 plus 3, -32. And then you multiply this number, -32, by -1. It's +32. Then you add up plus down, -14 plus 32. So it's -4 plus 22. So it is +18. Then you multiply +18 times -1, so it's -18, you write here. You add up plus down, 0 plus -18 is -18. You didn't get 0 in the end, so -1 is not a solution. We are going to ignore the -1 and everything we did here. We are going to ignore it, and we are going to try again another factor using the coefficients of. We tried 1 and -1. Let's try +2. 2. Okay, the coefficients we're trying are the coefficients of this reduced equation, which is 6 and -7 and -45 and -14. You can see from here or from the last one that work it out. So I'm gonna say 6, -7, -45, -14. Leave space. Drop down the first number. After you drop down, you multiply. 2 times 6 equal 12. Two times 6 equals 12. You add negative 7 plus 12 is positive 5. You write that down here. Then you multiply 5 times 2 is 10. You write the answer here. Then you add up plus down will be negative 35. Then you multiply 2 times negative 35 will be negative 70. So you write down here. You add up plus down, you will get negative 84. So again, not solution. So this you can ignore. I wrote it with pen, so I thought that this will be a solution, but it's not. So I'm gonna ignore every wrong attempt. So this is wrong, this wrong. I'm gonna write beside the one that worked it out, this is right or true, this is wrong, this is wrong. The next, I tried positive 2, so I'm gonna try now negative 2. I'm gonna try negative 2, and negative 2 will be the same, will be tried with the same coefficients of the reduced equation that worked out before here, 6 and negative 7 and negative 45, 6 then negative 7, and negative 45 and negative 14. Okay, let me start by dropping down the first number. 6, negative 2 times 6 equal negative 12. Negative 12 plus negative 7 is negative 19. Multiply again, negative 2 times negative 18, negative times negative is positive, 2 times 2 times 19 will be 38. So the answer is positive 38. Then you add up plus down, negative 45 plus 38. That is gonna be negative 17. Sorry, negative 7. Negative 7. Yes, that's right, negative 7. Then you multiply negative 7 times negative 2 is positive 14. You add up plus down, you get 0. Once you get 0, you know that this is a solution. This is right solution. So we are going to write in the draft here the new reduced equation and the new solution that we found out. I'm gonna write x equals 2 is a solution, and x minus 2 is a factor. Sorry, x equal negative 2. That was my bad. X equal negative 2 was the solution. We here just a little mistake. The 2 didn't work before. X equal negative 2 is a solution, and x plus 2 is a factor. If you change the sign of negative 2, it becomes positive 2. So x plus 2 is a factor, and the reduced equation or equation reduced to become of, we will use these numbers. Now we are allowed to use them as new coefficients. So this 6 will go for x power what? We, in the beginning, we had x power 4. I'm going to show you here, x power 4. Then the other reduced equation is x power 3 in the beginning. And then it's supposed to be, we're going down, so x power 4, x power 3, then x power 2. One time smaller. So 6 goes for, this 6 goes for x power 2. This negative 19 goes for x power 1. And this negative 7 goes for x power 0 or no x at all. And then you can write equal 0. This is the reduced equation. So far we found two solutions. 1 and negative 2 are two solutions for this equation. Usually if there is x power 4, so usually there is supposed to be 4 solutions. X power 5, there is supposed to be 5 solutions. So we have x power 4 supposed to be usually 4 solutions. We found 2 of them. One last step to find the other 2 in no time, I wish. Okay. This new equation is a quadratic equation. And I like always to use the formula or factorization to find the solution of the quadratic equation. You can do that and it will be easier than trying the fractions, all the possible fractions here. We tried 2 and negative 2. We are supposed to try 7 and negative 7, and I know they will not work, just not to waste the time. 7 and negative 7 will not work. 14 and negative 14 will not work. And then we have to go to the fractions. Half and will not work. Negative half will not work. You can write half, yes, in this place, and you write the factors and do the same steps, but it will be multiplying by a fraction and ending fractions every time. Okay, that's a way. It is a right way, but it is a long way to try the fractions. So I advise you, once you reach this second degree equation, you use whatever way you want to solve this equation. There are a lot of ways. One of the ways is the formula. Another way is the factorization. There is by graphing. So I like the simplest of them. Or if you are allowed to use the calculator and you know how to use the calculator to solve second degree equation, you do it and save your time. Anyway, I'm gonna do it by the formula. The formula says you need first the coefficients of every of x power 2. I'm gonna call it a. The first coefficient is 6. The second coefficient b is negative 19, and c is the third coefficient, negative 7. All right, then what? The formula, x equals negative b plus or minus square root b power 2 minus 4ac divided by 2a. So we will make empty brackets first before we do that. X equals, replace every letter by an empty bracket and keep the rest of the stuff as they are. So this negative stays negative as it is. This b becomes empty bracket plus or minus square root. This b becomes empty bracket minus 4 times another empty bracket, empty. All of them are under the square root. Then 2 times an empty bracket. Let's fill these brackets. This is for b, which is negative 19. So negative 19 is written inside the bracket. You don't say we already wrote negative and then we write 19. No, this negative is from the rule, but this negative is not from the rule. It has to be written. So negative 19 will be written inside here. I'm gonna write them with another color. Negative 19. B again, negative 19. Inside the bracket, A is 6, C is negative 7, and then 2A, 6. I advise you don't to put the whole thing inside the calculator. You write again another fraction, change this if it is to be changed. Negative is positive, so the answer of this part is 19. Then plus or minus, write square root in the copybook or on your paper as it is. Don't write any square root in the calculator for now. And find the value of what is under this square root. You can do that by the calculator. So okay, I'm not gonna write in the calculator any square root. I'm just gonna write what is under this square root, just not to waste time. I'm gonna do it by the calculator. So negative 19 power 2, then minus 4 times 6 times negative 7. So under the square root is what? 529. If under the square root is a positive number, then that's a good sign that the answer will be real numbers. But if under the square root is a negative number, so there will be no more solutions. There will be no solution, no real solution at least. There will be complex solutions, and it's not our topic today, the complex numbers. So you have a positive number, there is 2 solutions. If you have 0, there is 1 solution. If you have a negative number, no real solution. And in the bottom, 2 times 6 is 12. So now you take this fraction once with plus and once with minus. So x can equal 19 plus square root 529 over 12, or x equals with the minus 19 minus square root 529 over 12. You do that. Maybe I need the calculator. Square root the answer 23. So, or you can write the whole thing, 19 plus square root 529 over 12. So the first solution, or one of the solutions, is 7 over 2, and the other one I just change on the top here the positive to negative. Negative third. So the solutions are now found out. 7 over 2, which will, this is easier than trying the fractions here. Trying 7 over 2 and then negative third will work out. If you want to try that way, I told you it's okay, but it is a long way. So we found so far x equals 7 over 2 and x equal negative third. And now, my friends, we have solved so we can write the conclusion now for this one. The factors, if you want to write the factors, a factor from here, x minus 7 over 2, that's a factor, and a factor from here will be x plus third. So we can write the solutions now, all the solutions. X minus 7 over 2, x plus third. These are factors and these are solutions. So all the possible solutions, x can equal one of these solutions. 1 and 2, negative 2, and in the end we found here 7 over 2 and negative third. If that's extra from you, you write the factors. We could factorize, or we could factorize this expression into 4 factors. 1, 2, 3, 4 factors. 1, 2, 3, 4 factors. We tried the first factor we wrote there is x minus 1, and the second factor we did here is x plus 2. The third factor is x minus 7 over 2, and the fourth factor is x plus third. Extra thing shows that you know what you're doing. This whole equation is the multiplication of these 4 brackets. Anyway, I hope you understood the lesson, and I want to tell you, you are allowed to send me any requests for any lessons you don't understand, but I just want to know the title of the lesson and the grade that you want to understand.